my goal was just to have a sit down with him and be like, look, bro, got an artist, you ain't got to do shit, plug us in. And you don't believe me, ask Royce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, damn, that was a flex. That was
low key.
Flex. That was a straight flex. I like that one.
He caught him by the first one.
Yeah.
He said, yo.
Call Ryan, motherfucker.
Homeboy's probably like, excuse me? Who you talking to right now?
I put this on everything.
Party people.
I love this.
It's your boy,
My
M.A.Z.
my clothes. What is this? I thought I told you this is my world, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, party people in the place to be. It's your boy, M.A.Z. All right. Live from Davies.
Yes, sir.
Skrills.
Hey, I will say,
What's
South gonna hold it down.
As always, yeah.
But I also will say that the beginning of the year has been really good for us. Has some heat rock. This being one of them, you know.
We got XB in the house and SmoothVega in here. What's going on?
Oh no, they don't like that I'm being back in my zone. Used to be local, now around the globe. One thing to know my name like Marilyn Monroe. And so not going out without a fight like Stallone. 2, 3, 4, pulling up more pool suicide doors. Made it on the source, now we aiming for Forbes. Hit a detour, double up the score, full force. 1, 2, 3, 4, pulling up more pool suicide doors. Made it on the source, now we aiming for Forbes. Hit a detour, double up the score, full force.
You know, obviously from all those years of working with Royce the 5'9", when I booked him in 2015, damn, that was a flex.
I've learned to just love myself enough to also just be more patient and more compassionate enough, and that just doing that with yourself, it changes how you are. Like I'm a big believer. Like if you're not good physically, you're not gonna be good mentally.
For those that've been watching, we had XB early. It's about a year now. Actually.
Yeah, it's actually. It's been exactly a year.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy, and a lot of things have happened.
Oh man, I was just about to say that, but a lot happened in that year.
A lot happened within the year.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot.
And then not too long after, we had Smooth on his own show, on his own episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was dope. You know, I actually had somebody, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I actually had somebody that said they saw that interview that I did with you guys and like it inspired the hell out of them. And like, it's actually somebody from San Antonio that saw it and they were like, bro, like you really moved people with that interview. And I'm like, man, I thought it was light. Light work. Electrician, baby, light work. Yeah. Nah, it was a good episode and I really enjoyed it. And like I've told you guys, I'll tell you guys again, like when it comes to like what you guys do, you guys are my favorite in regards to just production, just everything, bro. So like I love what you guys are doing and just keep at it. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't stop, can't stop. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Facts.
Thank
for
you.
Sure, for sure.
So let's play catch up.
Okay.
All from what happened a year ago when you were here.
Oh man.
What's happened since then? Well, hold on. I think I could kind of.
I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, if you, you know what I mean, if you know, you may know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So.
Nah, man. I mean, well, when I first came on the show, that was when I was on the Boogie tour.
Right.
That was the San Antonio show, so I hadn't gone to Cali yet. So soon after that, you know, we did the Cali run, and everything went good. And then, you know, we came back. You know, we sort of took like a little break, and then we were back at it. You know, putting out music, and I did before the Joyner shit happened. That's when the Roc Nation stuff happened.
You notice that was like a subtle flex.
Subtle, right? That's when it kind of, the Roc Nation kind of happened, you know? Like, it kind of happened.
Dog, let me tell you, in 1 year, she's changed.
You've changed.
She's out of control.
Changed a lot, huh?
Nah.
No,
that's what happens when you're around Smooth for too long.
What?
I gotta call people to get a hold of her now. It's horrible, guys.
She's got to call the assistant of the assistant.
I like that, XB. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I was
like we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days.
See what I'm talking about, guys?
All the texts get forwarded. Yeah, I'm with it. I am with it.
Nah, man. I mean, I call you back at least within a couple hours. You know what I'm saying?
Plural.
Hours. Right.
The key is that I call back. All right. No, but I mean, honestly, like all that whole experience was, I feel like it's still surreal. So when I like talk about it, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like that's kind of like that happened, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you know, yeah, I'm pretty subtle about it just because like I don't think nothing really registers for me. I still like I talk about these things, but to me I don't feel like I'm talking about myself. I feel like I'm
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm talking about Smooth or something. Like, dang, like, you know, Smooth signed to Roc Nation. He has an artist on Roc Nation. Nah, but it was crazy because I definitely, I remember getting the email and being like, this is a scam. For sure a scam, you know. I was like, there's no way. I've gotten so many of those in the past, you know,
Right.
and off the bat. But then I was like, something looks a little different about this email, though. I was
Right.
like, the email looked too, like, official. I was like, let me not get my hopes up. I'm going to send a screenshot to Smooth, right?
Sure.
And he was like, I don't know. He was like, let me send this to one of my homies, and he'll let me know for sure, like, how legit it is.
Yeah.
Called Sean Carter.
Yeah. Man, I didn't realize what name you said. I was like, oh, yeah.
Called Sean.
Call Sean.
I text him, you know what I'm saying? I hit him on the two-way one time. You know?
He's like, yo, this legit right here.
I was fucking with you.
But he hits me back saying like, nah, it seems like it's legit. He's like, email them back. He like, you know, sends me like what to tell him. And then he ends up saying that, you know, he's going to get on a call with the A&R that had emailed me.
Gotcha.
And it just kind of went from there. He had a conversation with him and he was like, yo, in like 2 weeks, we're going to fly out there to have a meeting.
I shook him, dog. I shook him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually not a lie. Like I play around a lot, bro. But like one thing about me is like, you know, with her, like I was like, yo, let's get on a call with him. He's a super nice guy, by the way. But
Yeah.
man, I rattled him, bro. I fucking rattled him because you know I think like you know it's important. You know, once you get into a position where you start getting noticed,
Yeah.
and you know her being an artist, like you know artists get excited. They hear you know all the cool stuff, but whenever somebody comes in, it's like, all right, I'm gonna represent that person.
Yeah.
And I'm asking all the things that I feel need to be asked, but also like really kind of inserting the things that need to be inserted, which is like, hey, she's already self-sufficient in A, B, and C. What are you gonna do?
Absolutely.
And yeah, we shook him, but it was good. It was good. It was good. You know, I kind of you know I think because I'm such a pro wrestling fan, like it really reminded me of like you know Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just you know, ethering the promo game, you know what I'm saying? And she's over here just bouncing back and forth like, yeah. I'm finna suplex the shit out of you.
I was gonna say, so you're definitely smooth Heyman, and we got xBValentine too. Gotcha.
Nah, but it was dope. But I just go back to that because I haven't shared that story, but it was like a real, like, I almost felt like I intimidated them by some of the stuff I was saying.
Oh, it wasn't
because I think because you knew your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people that go into, you know, labels and situations like that, they don't have the upper hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't know the X's and O's. And when it sounds like you know you got a guy like Smooth that does know the X's and O's, it kind of helps in your favor.
And I think that was a moment for me to realize, like, damn, I'm in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like,
it
whoa,
took that long.
Man, no.
Fuck all the shit. The year and a half that I put in before that, you know what I'm saying? It's all
Hold on. See, there's a lot of things you already know yourself. I don't gotta tell you. You know what I'm saying? You be like, I'm the GOAT. See, I don't gotta tell you the GOAT.
Yeah. Try to airdrop me something, guys, right now.
There you go. Exactly my point.
It literally is the GOAT. That's why I air my airdrop. Everybody's like, yo, who's the GOAT? Yeah, that's me.
Man, he loves that shit.
Nah, but it was cool though, because I think with her, like, you know, I'm real vocal about this.
Sure.
And, you know, I think that, you know, her being an artist that's really kind of, I don't want to say old school, but just really nose to the pavement, just all about the work. Doesn't really care for the attention like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to use the term introvert, but like just kind of like more reserved.
Yeah.
You know, you get overlooked like that, you know, and people don't include her in some of the list. And it pisses me off sometimes because I'm like, you know, per resume, she's, you know, she's popping, right? Like, you know, she has a lot of stuff going on that a lot of people don't have. And maybe she's not meant to be part of those conversations. And I know she was like, I don't care. I'm like, but I do care because at the end of the day, you should get the head nod at least like, yo,
absolutely.
Game recognized game, right?
Yeah.
But I think the other part of it was with her, like I say, I'll see the list and I'll see stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't get it. And I think it really irritates me when it gets like really, really specific, like who are the top 15 rappers that live in Georgetown on this street right here around the block. And she's sitting on that list. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, can she get a break?
So let me ask you, Smooth, because let's just get to it, man. Because if I recall, there was a post I believe that was made that I saw, and I thought the same thing. And it's funny because I think we like IM'd each other at some point, and we're just kind of like we thought the same thing because I was looking for XB on that list too, but it was like I think it's something related to South by. And
she said that. I think she was the one that said that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I think I posted that.
Okay, so but it's like let's just like I said, getting to it as far as like as much work as XB has done, you would think that like whoever the fuck is the what you call them, Ozzy, the Illuminati, or whoever's sitting at the big desk,
the
for fucking
gatekeepers
South
or whatever,
by,
right?
Illuminati shit.
right? It's like
The Illuminati is running South by, but go ahead.
you know what I mean? And like
Facts.
I'm thinking like, yo, who is this girl that's been on? They check all the boxes and all that shit, and then they still don't get, you know, showcases or they don't get,
Right.
you know, love as far as that. But then you get, because then I see that and I'm thinking, well, like, so then you can buy this shit.
That's what it comes down to.
That's
Because
a really good perspective.
That's the only thing that makes sense. It's like,
Yeah.
well, then just like I can buy a blue check, I guess I can get
I
a
could
fucking
buy a
showcase.
showcase. Now that's the truth because I think I mean I'll say it. Which camera am I looking at? This y'all out here buying showcases, blue checks, spins, the whole nine.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
And shout out to Miss Go because she had a fucking hilarious take that was like, she said something, but I ain't never seen so many blue checks on a flyer. That make no goddamn sense.
I'll say this. I think with you know, her South by Southwest take was interesting too because like I know that, you know, when you're a younger artist, especially like coming up in that general area, I'm sure she aspired to be part of South by Southwest. Like, who doesn't?
Yeah. And I think it's kind of different too, you know, being that that's basically your backyard, your hometown. So
Yeah.
obviously you would want to have your own showcase in your own backyard. And I think you're well deserved of that. Like you just definitely deserve it for
I
sure.
appreciate that, man. You know what's crazy is I don't think a lot of people know this, but I did do South by in 2016. But at the time, like, I don't even know how I got put on there, to be honest. I was working with this guy at the time who was just sponsoring me. He just really wanted to help. And he just knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he actually just told me, like, yo, the guy who was, like, helping me with my career at the time, he was like, yo, you know your name is on the South by list? And I was like, what the fuck? I, like, go and look at it, and I look up at the artist performing, like, what the hell? My name's on here.
Yeah.
And then he ends up telling me, yeah, like, I think homie got you on there. He's like, I don't know how, but I think he got you on there. So, yeah, I was on South by in 2016, but I have not one single clue how I didn't submit. But that's what made me think, like, I really feel like it's just who you know.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. I think it's more who you know.
Yeah,
versus
definitely.
The politics of it, huh?
Facts. And I think that's, like, because I was out of the scene of Austin, like, once I met him, I just went straight to Dallas. And I was already doing a lot of shows in Dallas prior to that. So people knew me out there off the bat. And people just kind of assumed I was from there, especially because I lived there for like 6 months.
Gotcha.
And that kind of made it like this thing like, oh, you're from the DFW, you know? And especially working with Smooth. I mean, Smooth is like in the Hall of Fame of Fort Worth and shit.
You're right.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, my headphones were acting up. What'd you say?
This guy.
Say that again.
Man got a Fort Worth jersey.
This is what
you know
I deal
mean?
with on the daily. And then you wonder why I don't answer right away.
But, you know, to answer the question, I think the overlook thing, it bothers me sometimes just because, you know, we're in this new era of, like, well, it's not really a new era, it's just like the social media era where, like, activity, you know, like, I believe in movement, but I believe in effective movement, right? So I don't necessarily believe that just because you're posting photos of yourself on top of a car and you're posing and, you know, I don't feel like that's effective movement. Like, what is it leading to? Like, is it leading to a record, a single? Is it generating streams? Like, I think people are so caught up with engagement that they lose sight of what's really important, which is the work, which is the music, which is touching the people. And, like, the one thing that I try to instill in the movement that she's had at very least, and, you know, it's just been like, hey, go city to city, touch people, do shows, and just continue to work, put out music to the best of your abilities. And hopefully people recognize it. But I don't think it's something that, you know, it's a popularity contest, man. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, I guess because, you know, I'm a competitor and I got that Mamba mentality.
Come on,
you
man.
Say
One more.
That Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be recognized universally as the best. You know, not only myself, but anybody I'm associated with from my engineer and my production team to the people that I align myself with. Like, I don't want to be aligned with anything that I don't want to be seen as the best, including her as an artist. So that's where it bothers me. But I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, she's starting to get to a point in her career where there's money coming in, there's opportunities coming in.
Yeah.
I shared with Skrills, that she has a record coming out with D Smoke. She has another record coming out with Waste of 5'9". And
More bombs.
And she's releasing a full-length project this year. You know what I mean? And
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Yes.
So
I know they've been waiting for that one.
Yeah, so
Nah, that's a fact.
there you go. I mean, now it's showtime. It's like, all right, we got love for who we got love for, but
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's time to go to work. And
Like you were saying, Smooth, like results speak for itself. Results take time, but you know what I mean? When the results show, and obviously when y'all got the looks that y'all did, that's what you get from that. So it's almost, and I feel like at that point, do you say, sure, it's gratifying to be on a South by bill, but do you, like you said, I know you say you don't care, but it's nice to have it.
Yeah,
right?
no, definitely. I think, like, of course, like, I mean, I won't say, like, I don't, like, it's just whatever to me. And, I mean, I cared enough to, like, acknowledge it and make
Right.
a post about it, you know what I'm saying? Because, when you see everyone else that you've been, like, doing stuff with in the city, and you're like, damn, like, I feel like I was just working just as hard as them, but, like, my name's not on this, like, bill either. And I, like, it is a little discouraging,
Yeah.
especially, like, thinking, like, I feel like we're all on the same level here. Like, I don't view myself here either. I
Sure.
think we're all,
that's
like,
a lie.
no, I mean, there's there's a lot of artists in the city in Austin that I really feel like are really grinding, and of course,
Yeah.
like they deserve that shit. I'm not knocking that at all, but it's just like one of those, like, damn, like, I'm right here, like,
No,
I'm
for
here
sure.
too.
Yeah.
But then again, like, it just is also just fuels me to make me feel like, damn, like, I just got to keep grinding. And, like, sometimes I almost feel like I have to work a little harder than everyone else. But then again, what it's just teaching me, like, I'm not done yet, and there's just more that needs to be done. And I'm like, I'm learning to, like, not get comfortable either, because that was a big issue for me. I would get comfortable and, like,
Gotcha.
the levels I'd reach, and I'd be like, okay, cool, I reached a milestone, like.
Yeah.
But now, I'm telling you, I've been around Smooth too damn much. But now I'm, like, in this mentality, like, all right, like, I want to see what else I can do. Because, like,
Sure.
before I met him, I definitely limited, like, what I thought I was capable of. It was very, like, all right, I think I want to be about this big, and I'm going to stop there. And then he was
Gotcha.
like, hell no, like, I see you, like, Grammys, and, like, I can see you.
I never said that. That's definitely her.
Bruh.
No, so I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure being with Smooth and obviously with him pushing you, it's almost like.
And I mean, shit, he even, like, admits to me sometimes too. He's like, when I first met you, he was like, I won't lie to you. He's like, I really thought, like, Amanda Perez, like, that was gonna be, like.
Yeah, I thought that was her ceiling. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
No disrespect to Amanda, she had her
No.
success,
Nah.
but I just kind of felt like, that's a void that she could fill in. Obviously Amanda being LGBT, being Latina,
Yeah.
and doing a certain style of music. I was like, okay, that's B, right? That's where I see her at. And up to that point, I hadn't heard, like, all her catalog. And then she drops her first song on TikTok, her second song that we had released, and I saw how people responded to it, which is the song she did with Baby Bash.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, you know what? I underestimated it, and I didn't also understand the extent of her music knowledge, which obviously she's talked about, MF Doom and some of these artists that inspired her. So I was like, there's a little bit more depth to this. But I think just in general, like the player-coach relationship, I guess, or just being able to take an artist and have them understand, like, you know what, like, I was wrong. I set the ceiling way too low.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lifted the ceiling. And then when I lifted the ceiling, I think she was kind of in that space where it's like, you gotta remember, this is all new to her. Like, it's life-changing,
Yeah.
right? You go from 1 year to the next year, you're doing open mics, to now you're playing in front of some of the biggest crowds,
Yeah.
there is, at least at that time. And, working your way into doing your own shows and really, connecting, it's a lot. It's a lot for anybody. But yeah, I'm just like, hey, you can't get comfortable, not because you're not in a position to where you can or you can't, but more so because there's a window. You have momentum.
Yeah.
And every day there's a new rapper that pops up, right? Every day there's somebody new that's circulating and emerging, and so you know, you got to work hard because there's always somebody working just as hard, if not harder, you know. And so, you know, you can't go to sleep. You got to continue to, you know, go do it to the best of your abilities, not even on a competitive aspect, but more so because, you know, you have a window. There's, you know, some people have a long window, some people don't have a long window. And I think a lot of times when you see artists, and I think we can all agree, I think we all personally probably know artists that have had a window and they did not fully capitalize, and then when it passed, that motherfucker passed.
Right.
And it ain't coming back, baby.
Right, yeah.
And so I just like, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. And, you know, it's hard sometimes because, you know, and this is another thing too, like when I started working with her, like we didn't really know each other, like truly know each other. Like we've had conversations, we met, but, you know, pattern of behavior, understanding each other's characteristics, knowing like what motivates, what doesn't motivate, like all those things, like you gotta learn it, bro.
Yeah.
Like you really gotta learn it. So like it was never a rush, like, oh hey, you know what, I wanna, you know, I would like to see her progress in a year and get her some form of a deal. But if it took a little longer, I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Now we're barely gonna hit year 2. Like it's only the second full year that we're about to hit. We haven't even hit it yet. And
Wow.
you've seen the progression. It's like, all right, now you got the next 12 months that are gonna be crucial.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the urgency I put on her, because it's like you got all these young artists that are emerging, and it's not even about who has options or whatnot. It's just like, stay on your fucking toes because people are working, man. You know what I'm saying? And go hard.
Nah, that's for sure. So I do, give me like a condensed version of your year, giving them a pretty good breakdown as far as where you started a year ago, the consistency you were at, maybe started at, to where you tried to get to where you eventually were when this shit hit.
I mean, oh shit, I'm trying to think of everything.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and the reason I ask is because you do these dope TikTok joints where you're just like life of an artist, right?
The day in the life.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
appreciate it.
Because from an artist perspective, like, again, just putting myself in someone's shoes like that, it's like, yo, this is, I operate like that. If I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to follow people who are like showing me, this is what I do.
Well, like the beginning of the year just started off, you know, I think what I do the most is shows. And that was something I did the most probably at the beginning of the year till now. I definitely like, I think.
And my bad, as far as shows, like, would you say, like, and Smooth, you can probably touch on this, but we talking paid shows, we talking opportunity shows, we talking like
open mics?
I'm doing probably both. I know I've done a few paid shows, and I did the bigger shows that I did were mainly Smooth shows. You know, I did I'm trying to think. I don't know why. Like I cannot like think back of all the artists I've opened up for in the past year, but
that many.
Yeah, I did like
that many. That's you're subtle flex. You know what I mean?
Smooth. Send me the list later, bro. I'll fucking do it like credits.
Yeah, we do credits where it's kind of just all kind of scrolling down.
It's because I'm confusing like this year and last year. I mean, last year and the year before that. But
yeah,
this
and maybe it doesn't have to be 12 months. It could be 18.
Well,
or
no,
whatever.
I mean, it was. I actually do know the names. It was Westside Boogie, Lupe Fiasco, obviously Jordan Lucas. I think we'll get back to the Jordan Lucas situation in a second. King Little G, obviously I had her do my show with 3-6 Mafia and come in there. She just came out, did 2 records, and then we ended the year in Amarillo with, you know, Little Rob, MC Magic, and, you know, did like the whole Zero thing. Like,
and Cash Page.
And Cash Page, we did the stuff with Cash Page. So there was like a handful of like bigger gigs there.
But that's a lot of exposure. You know?
A lot of exposure.
Definitely.
Well, the Jordan Lucas shows, I think, where for me, where I felt like
the conversion rate there.
Well, it's not just that. It was like if there was ever a moment where I felt like, yo, if you don't know that this is real, like it was here in San Antonio.
Yeah, there's a video actually that when the day of the vlog video or day in the life video I did for the Joyner for the Joyner Lucas show. There's a clip that I post. It was at the theater. What was it called? Aztec Theater in here in San Antonio. It was my first time performing at a theater. So it's like my first like real like, I don't know, it just felt like an arena in there for me just compared to everything else.
Yeah, you've been there, right, Mother?
Yeah.
And you know, towards the end of my song, I always the last song on my set, I have everyone put their lights up.
Right.
And everyone put it up and I was like, whoa. I was like, holy shit, it just looked different. Cause like usually, you know, I'm used to having like a good amount, but this time it looked like everyone had their lights up. And I was like, whoa, holy shit, like this was crazy. And I had a moment where like, I really like just froze up there and just like soaked it in, and I just like I was in disbelief. I legitimately felt like I was dreaming.
That moment where everything kind of slowed
yeah,
down.
and I was just like,
quiet.
and I don't think I ever really had a moment like that on stage, and like he felt it, and, like even he said something on stage too, and I just remember like looking, and even looking back at the footage, like every time I look at it, I feel how I felt in that video, just like looking at everyone and being like everyone was just smiling, I looked so happy, and I was just like, wow, like they're like this is happening like for me right now, like despite the fact that I was an opener, like in that moment I was like, I got this shit. Like if there's ever a moment,
you were meant to do this.
Yeah, and I think like I lose sight of that because like for me, music was like it just kind of like I feel like it was one of those things that just got put on my lap.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, I have this talent and I don't know what to do with it. And like I was scared, like like I wasn't the most extroverted kid. I was kind of shy. You know, I had my little group of friends, but I wasn't very like I didn't put myself out there. I was the type to like go in, in my classroom and look down and like wouldn't make eye contact. So for me, then that moment is like, damn, like this is more than I ever thought I could do, and it's like happening in that moment. And for me, it was that moment that made me like, I don't ever want to stop feeling this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a high like no other, man.
Yeah.
Even for me, like I'm back there, I'm just like, damn.
I'm like kind of shaking just talking about it. Like I'm like, damn. Like
you have like those moments. I mean, I think to answer the question though, like the condensed version of the year, you start the year on the road, right? You're on the road with West Side Boogie. You do, a handful of Texas dates, and then you go to California and do the California dates, and then you do Denver, right? So like you're touching other markets now.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the year, and then you end the year in Columbus, Ohio, right? That's the last, like literally, I think the day before the last day of the year.
It was on the 29th of December.
Yeah, we did the show in Columbus, and so it's like you start the year on the road and you end the year on the road. Like, I guess that's kind of a really condensed version of it because all the stuff in between, yeah, you have those moments, and that Jordan Lucas moment in specific was like really like, it was a turning point because not only the amount of people that were there, but like the way that people responded. Like even the venue, like they didn't tag Simba. I mean, and Simba's the fucking tour support, which may I add, phenomenal artist.
Absolutely.
God damn, fucking Simba's phenomenal.
Had a hell of a project too. Results take time. Y'all be sure to go get that for sure.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I got love for Simba. You know what I'm saying? But the venue only tagged her on the stories. They only tagged her and then joined her. Like, and like to me, that says a lot about her as a performer. I think the tour bus driver or somebody.
It was his driver. Joiner's driver. It
was like, yo, hey, we got to get you on every show because I think too, for me, the reason why it meant a lot to me personally was more so because, and even at the end of the year in Ohio specifically, kind of like, that was kind of cool. The whole experience was cool, but like, it was more so the idea of like, we've been working and, shooting in the gym.
Right.
We've been shooting in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then,
for sure.
And then when you see her apply those things and it works to the motherfucking T, bro, like to the T, like I'm talking about artist etiquette. Dude, that was my favorite moment of the night. Being able to see her perform, convert an audience that wasn't her audience. And then at the end of the night, she's out there, mingling with everybody, taking pictures with everybody, signing autographs. And then there's a group of people over there in the corner that didn't go up to her, that are just sitting there. And then she goes up there and she hands them a poster. I said, man, you don't understand. Like, that was more impressive to me than anything else because you also have to remember there are people that, have social anxiety, that don't know how to communicate, and that would probably be there, that enjoyed your set, that may have not had it in them to go up to you to talk to you and be like, there's people that'll probably go in their car and be like, man, I should have talked to her. She was so talented.
Right.
And the fact that you went out of your way to talk to them shows you that you value them enough to want to gain them as a fan.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of like what I look forward to the most, to be honest. Like, is the after I'm done performing. Like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Not even so much performing, because even if I am opening this show, like, there's always gonna be at least a couple people who fuck with you, and especially the bigger the show, the higher your chances, right?
Right.
And I think I've been learning, like, man, like, I just love the feeling of when people tell me, like, man, like, you're so dope, like you killed it, but like, I love that I was able to like talk to you, and that for me is like, that means that I have, he always says, like, that's how you have a forever fan, because it's one thing that I'm just watching you on stage and be like, all right, she was cool, all right, they'll forget about me next week, but when you like really talk to them and like share, have a little small conversation, just show your appreciation, they'll remember that moment longer.
Absolutely.
And that's how, and just from doing that, I've seen people come back to shows. Like from the Joyner Lucas show, I had like this one kid who came to 2 shows after that I promoted in Dallas.
Wow.
And like I've just seen it happen. King Little G show. Even I have fans still from the Tay Day show, which she actually pulled up to my headlining show recently.
Yeah.
And she was wearing my shirt. And like,
Oh, that's fire.
that was she said she went to the King Little G show after the Tay Day, and she pulled up to my headlining show. And it's just like things like that. Like, man, I'm like, I don't know. Like he tells me all the time, but I think for me, I'm even surprised to see other artists not do that. I'm like, man, y'all are missing out on a really dope experience. Like, it's not even for them. It's also for you. Like, because we don't get that enough as artists coming up. Like, we don't get that love instantly. We got to work for it still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your music is only going to get you so much love. Like, people are going to fuck with you one way, but when you really like just kind of really connect with the people and try to like give them more of you rather than just the artist part, like they connect with you more. They're like, all right, you're a person, like you're just like me, and that's also important for me, because even at this headlining show too, like I was telling him, I don't know how like headliners can just chill in the green room all day.
Right.
And like I was like, I wanted to be a part of the show. I was like out just like watching all the openers, and to me like that was like fun. I was fucking vibing out. I was probably the loudest one in the crowd. Like I was really like I was having so much fun watching everybody. And I don't know, I think that just like to me, like it's just kind of like one big like experience that I feel like we should all like I want to just share it with everyone. So
yeah, it's crazy too. 'Cause like side story, and you're absolutely right on that. I went to the Rock the Mic tour. Jay-Z and 50 were headlining, right? But Busta Rhymes was also on that tour. They made a stop here in San Antonio. Busta did his set, mind you. This is when "Break Your Neck" was happening. Like, it was the big single, right? After his set was over, he gets off. Here comes Busta and Spliff going to the hot dog stand, and they literally grab a hot dog and they sit on the bench. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing out here? You know what I mean? Like, you're Busta Rhymes. What are you doing out here? So here I am, 16 years old. I walk up to Bus and Spliff like, hey, yo, what's up, man? Y'all, y'all did y'all's thing. I put on a hell of a show. Hey, yo, thanks, kid. Just right straight to the New York shit. And like, we literally chopped it up for like a cool 5 minutes.
Damn,
like, and
You'll never forget that.
Right. I won't ever forget that. And I will forever be a fan for that. So, Bus and Spliff, if y'all happen to be watching, shout out to y'all. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was it was like, I don't want to say life changing, but I will forever remember that because of that. So keep doing that, because people will, keep memories of that forever for sure.
Hey, yo, side note real quick, hold on. Busta Rhymes performed on the New York State of Mind tour with Nas and Wu-Tang.
Right.
God damn, dude. Busta Rhymes, if you've never seen him perform, watch him perform.
Oh, he puts on a show.
One of the most top 3 for me ever, bro. He's phenomenal, bro. So
yeah,
I had to say that because I just remember watching him a couple months ago. I'm like, damn, dude, he's
still after all these years.
Spliff Star is the greatest hype man I've ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? He's just like it's like insane to the man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, shout out to Bus, man, Spliff. So yeah, XB. So real quick, I know the formula obviously has worked for you. The singles. Single, and now you're getting. I want to say you. We're us squirrels. Yeah, we're getting a full length project.
Yes, sir.
Why the change this time around?
In the beginning, the singles were working, but it got to a point where I really feel like I kind of created this fan base where like now, and my biggest thing is like I don't want to put out an album if I don't even have anyone to really give it to, because like I felt like I didn't have like a solid fan base. Like there's people who supported me and every now and then would check me out, but now I feel like there's people like waiting for things to drop, right?
Yeah.
So singles are cool when you get to that point, but then again, like now I feel like people are like, all right, cool, we know you can drop singles, like we get it, but now I feel like they are expecting almost more of me now.
Yeah, like can you do?
Yeah,
an album
like
now?
and I think that's, but I wanted that. I just didn't want it to go to waste, because like to me, I wanted it to have some kind of meaning to it. I didn't want to just put it out and then that be it, and then we move on to it and people forget about it. I wanted the album to be anticipated and like people to really like look forward to it. And I think we're finally getting to that point. I think like delivering it towards the end of the year is perfect because it gives us enough time. To just keep putting my name out there, because I don't feel like I'm ever going to be done doing that. I'm always keep trying to figure out what's the next thing I can do to really put my name more on the radar, and for other people in the world to know who I am, because I still feel like I can only keep growing right now.
Absolutely.
And I think that this, like, just kind of putting this album out is gonna show people what I'm capable of, because of course there's still people out there like, I want to see what else you can do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's already people I've already proved, so it's like, all right, cool, I got them. Now it's just a matter of like really proving to myself now.
Yeah.
I want to see, like, can I really do this to that extent that I've always wanted to? So I'm excited to put this project out, because I think I mean, to be honest, we have so many songs.
I bet.
Like, so many songs.
With your work ethic and how you drop the singles like that, I'm sure y'all got a bunch in the stash. And I'm sure even trying to condense those tracks and trying to pick which songs, are going to go on the album is kind of a hassle a little bit.
It's finding that point where it's like, I think we're, as an artist, right? Like, she sold out a show this past weekend, and it was her first time doing a headlining show where, ticketed, sold out, right? And it's like, it was a small room show, and it's like, okay, now we're working you like the way they really work artists. We're working you up, and part of that, is having a full length project now, and it's really kind of getting a gauge as to where you're really at, right? Because you could really determine that by a lot of different things, like, well, how much traction do you get whenever you post something, or how much streams are you generating when it's just you, and how are people responding to certain things? And it's like, at some point or another, like, you got to just kick the training wheels off and see what's on the other side of fear,
right?
And be like, yo, we got to do this, and just see what's going to happen. So I think dropping the project was a decision that we had talked about, but also something that I feel like she's ready for, because it's like, if you're not ready now, when are you ever going to be ready? And I'm not, also, like, with all due respect, like, this isn't something that I don't want to be on the same hamster wheel in 3 or 4 years doing the same exact thing. Whenever we come back to Maziz's World in 2024, man.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? In January of 2024. I want her to have that, that big old piece of chain, you know what I'm saying? The diamond grill.
I'm going to walk in with my Grammy. How about that?
I want to walk in the Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, XB with a grill would be crazy.
With security guards, you know what I'm saying?
Have them check me like, oh, not before I talk to you, you gotta get searched. That's tough.
So
it's progression.
No, absolutely. So, quick question for you, Smooth, and XB, if you want to tap in on this too. But if you can, I don't know how much detail you can give, but with the whole like Roc Nation, I mean, what is it? Is it like a manager thing? Is it a collaboration with them? Because, like, I'm not too familiar with all that and how that works, right? So, do you have that proverbial like big machine now behind you to be able to push, and hence the album needing to come out and things like that?
Or is it some type of partnership thing that y'all got?
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, we haven't really spoken about it, not only publicly, but in general, because so much things have changed internally over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever we went over there to the distribution side of the company, right, we were brought in by a specific A&R, the one that she mentioned. Probably a month after she's on board, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Wow. We were assigned another A&R. I thought everything was gonna be kind of up from there. You know what I'm saying? And it was for like maybe a few weeks, and then the communication got dry. And then I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'm not in a rush to release any music prematurely. Like, we'll just sit out the rest of the year, because in terms of releases, right?
Gotcha.
In terms of music, let's sit out the rest of the year. Just prep for 2023. I don't want you to waste any music if we have a little bit of uncertainty as far as direction.
Gotcha.
But what we will do is going to be, we'll still stay active on shows, and we'll still do what we have to do on that side. But let's fall back, because your 2021 releases can carry you over into mid-2023, and you won't miss a beat in terms of like streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point or another, you need to release music, because if not, it's gonna dip down.
And you're saying like being able to live off of previous drops from 2021?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about not just like financially, because obviously like in 2022.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, not financially. I mean more so like as her popularity grows, you get fans who, again, didn't really know you.
Yeah, they always go back to the catalog. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the catalog also, though, but with all due respect, though, it carries a lot of streaming weight. You know what I'm saying? So, like, she's not losing streams. It's still, like, if anything, some of those are still gaining traction.
Right.
But in regards to, like, the situation is, like, we went through the A&R change situation, and then probably about a few weeks ago, I found out the president that was in charge is no longer there. So now you have a whole entire new staff that doesn't really know us. Yeah. So, you talk about that conversation about shaking them up a little bit, and I shook up the original guy.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the one now because I shook him up. because I'm a patient guy, but at the same time, it's like, well, I have no reason to believe that maybe in the next few months that this doesn't change.
Right.
And so in regards to the machine, it's kind of a yes and no, because like the way that we structured our situation was we're going to give them X amount of releases. After X amount of releases, we can talk about potentially, funding and really getting advances and really touching, all the things that you guys would assume would be attached to having a label support. But we wanted to take the opportunity to kind of bet on ourselves and kind of see what we could do on our own at first.
Yeah.
Granted, under the impression that they were going to still support some of those things, and that didn't necessarily happen, and it's nobody's fault because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. There was just a lot of internal changes that nobody foresaw, and for me now, it's like I'm making the decision where it's like, well, we're not like fully tied into the situation to where we can't go on our own if we feel that it's in the best interest.
Gotcha.
And that was the conversation I had with them. So
gotcha.
That's kind of a TBD, but it's the reality of where we're at. And I have to make the right decisions.
Does any of that stop you from being able to?
Nah, and I think that's the only reason why we're like real comfortable to just kind of go in full force with it, because it wasn't like the type of situation where like that's all we can do. Like we're clearly allowed to do what we want still, and we're able to.
Or you have all this like overstock of music.
Yeah, because it was more just a distribution situation.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a full on like record deal. Where they you put out 3 albums with them. They provide producers. None of that. Like I wanted to still kind of have the freedom to like do things how we've been doing it because it works. You know what I'm saying? And it was just. We looked at it as a situation that was going to help us enhance where we currently were, We saw it as kind of like just an extra set of hands to help us.
Right.
But, unfortunately, like things just kind of went a certain, differently than we expected. But, I think everything just kind of happens for a reason.
For sure. And it seems like y'all making the best of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Facts.
I mean, and honestly, we hadn't talked about it because we didn't want to sound like we were complaining because they like, you gotta make chicken soup out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's a bar, dog.
I had to put the drop, man.
I told him, I go, yo, don't let me on the mic tonight. Don't play me on the boss's beats because I'm about to. No, it's like you do gotta make the best out of the situation you're given, and I feel that. That was kind of where we were at. Like it's no fault of anybody's. Like things happen.
Thanks.
And we went to the office and we're forever appreciative of that, and being able to be in a space where people are telling you that they believe in her and her music and what she's doing. Yeah. That's a good feeling to know that you're there, and but at the same time, like, as a manager, as a project manager, as an A&R, as a label, whatever you want to deem me in terms of the role that I play in her career, I'm looking at it like, well, we're about to have these records that we're doing. We are the ones putting together these records with Royce the 5'9" and D Smoke and whoever else we work with for that matter. Yeah. What's in the best interest of this? And that's where we're at currently. That's an exclusive because I haven't talked to anybody about that stuff. And that's
it's real.
And it's also ongoing too because a lot of times people want to fluff it and be like, yeah, everything good. You know what I mean?
We on, baby. We on, baby.
It's like, nah, bro, like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, man, once upon a time she was paying to do shows. She was paying promoters to get on shows. Then she kind of transitioned into getting paid to shows. Now she's starting to really see there's money coming in and people are recognizing her.
And that's the goal. And it's crazy because, like you said, paying for shows and now it's flipped. Yeah, they're paying you. You kind of hear these horror stories about the industry, how you go in because someone co-signs you and they give you a look and then the next month, homeboy out of there.
Yeah, so it's almost like none of these people really like know who you are anymore because everyone who like brought you along is no longer there. So it's just like they're working with like a clean slate. Yeah. Versus like,
and now you got to win people over.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like yeah. So
does this happening or not happening for that matter, like you all expected it or thought? Does that discourage you from anything, or does it more motivate you?
I think it motivates me more. I feel like it's kind of. I mean. That's something about me. I've been doing this for so long. having high hopes has definitely been something I taught myself not to do, just because, you know, like I mean, just from, you know, like he mentioned, I used to pay to do shows, and like when you're young, you have high hopes of like the type of shows you're gonna do, and I learned like just from little situations like that, like I had to go in things thinking of it as realistically as possible. You know, it's either gonna go my way or it's not, but. I mean, everything is supposed to go how it's supposed to go, you know? So I'm not the type to force things. So if anything just doesn't work out, it's just not going to work out. I don't want to force it to work out, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like a learning experience. Like, okay, like...
And for the record, I mean, let me just say this, because, you know, if I haven't made it clear, it's still, like, we're still there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like we're just... And there's still a possibility that everything moving forward stays the same, but... You know, from having these conversations, you know, as far back as a week ago, you know, one thing about me is like, look, if you know, we didn't ask for this situation. We didn't go seeking this situation. They seeked her. Yeah. And they did it because they liked what they heard. They saw the numbers and they felt she would be a good acquisition. So, you know, when people are telling you now, well, hey, you know, frequency of releases and, you know, you got to kind of show up now and put up, you know, more music and do this, do that. You get this sense of like you got to reprove yourself, which is nothing wrong with that. Sure. But like, you know, if the goal is to like show you what we can do, we already did that. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel the music industry is just shifting as a whole. Like, you know, people have different, you know, objectives, different goals with it, and to some people, it's a numbers game. Some people want frequency just because they want to collect publishing. That's all they care about. They don't care about whether or not the song goes viral. They want to get as many records as possible so they can milk. At the end of the day, it doesn't defeat the purpose that, like, there's still work that has to be done. There's still work that will be done. And ultimately, whether it's them, whether it's independent, you know, whether it's this, whether it's that, like, whatever's in the best interest is what's going to happen.
If anything, this has kind of, like, excited me because I wasn't expecting to get hit up by a label so fast. Exactly. So to me, it was like, damn, this is happening now. I can only imagine, like, down the road. So I'm not even tripping, you know what I mean? It's like...
And Universal hit, like, right
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was just about to ask that, too. Like, so, I mean, I don't know. I guess I can ask y'all this. Y'all don't have to answer. Was there a bidding war at one point?
No. That wasn't a real bidding war, but they hit us up like.
I was about to say,
like,
yeah,
that would have been crazy.
We ain't there yet.
but you will be.
Yeah,
you will.
We working
for
towards
sure.
it.
I'll tell y'all guys the truth. Look, I have a connection at Def Jam. You know, obviously from all those years of working with Royce the 5'9", when I booked him in 2015, his road manager for that show is actually the senior VP A&R over there, and I met him, and he used to manage 50 and. Anyways, like, my goal was just to have a sit down with him and be like, look, bro. Yeah. Got an artist. You ain't got to do shit. Plug us in. That was literally what I was going to have. That was in the nutshell what I was going to say. Yeah. And you don't believe me? Ask Royce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, damn, that was a flex. That
low key.
Flex. That was a straight flex. I like that one.
He caught him by the first
one.
He said, yo.
Call Ryan, motherfucker.
I got an artist.
You know what I'm saying?
She's dope.
You know,
You don't believe me? Get Royce on the phone and ask him. Homeboy's probably like, excuse me? Who you talking to right now?
No, you know what? I have some great guys, you know, that look out for me in a way that, honestly, like, you can only dream of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially me being a fan of some of these guys. So I knew that I had it in, and that was the goal. I just never was able to, like, sit his ass down. Like, yo, can I get you, you know, in LA? Can I get you in New York? And then by the time, you know, we were in contact, you know, she was already, you know, doing what we were doing. But
yeah. So what is exactly the goal for xB at this point?
I mean, it's crazy that you asked me that, because if you would have asked me this like 2 weeks ago, I told you to sell out my first headline show.
And look what you did. You know what I mean?
So I got to think of a new one, honestly. Like, right now, I'm just kind of like, I'm so like focused right now, more so on like what I'm going to do the next couple days. Like, I think right now I'm just trying to like take it step by step, and like really what I'm most concerned about is like my consistency, and just like making sure, like, you know, how Smooth says it, like, just keep the momentum going, you know, like, he never lets me forget about this window of mine. So I'm just trying to like always just do what I can, and, you know, as far as like, you know, creating music and just putting out content, and you're just trying to figure out new things to do in order to like just keep, you know, my listeners like still, you know, with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Obviously your career has grown, but you as a person, like individually, mentally, obviously physically, because I follow you. You know, and that's a big
You see that? You see that?
Yeah, I see you out here doing the push-ups. So if you could just give
doing more than me and shit, making me look bad.
bro, what? Definitely more than me. But as far as like if you can just give me like a kind of a quick breakdown as far as how much of what you go through as far as mentally and physically, how that helps your career and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I feel like everything lately has all been tied to discipline. Like I think that was something I've lacked for a long time, was just like discipline in different areas in my life. Like for the biggest one I like struggled with was my physical health. You know, I didn't have enough self-discipline, and once I started like seeing the negatives of that, I had to do something about it, and it all started there. Like the discipline I built, just like taking care of myself, the fact that I like wake up and first thing I do every morning is go to the gym, and like doing that so much, I learned like, oh shit, like I literally have trained myself to be able to now to commit to this. I was like, I could literally do anything. Because it used to be like the hardest thing. Like I used to hate running. I like despised it. The thought of even running for 5 minutes, I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, no, like, no. Yeah. Now, like the people I go to the gym with be like, can you just run for like just like 10 minutes today? Like you don't got to do no 30 minutes. Because like now, like I've really pushed myself to see just how much I can do, and I think just doing that so much has like allowed me to put it in different areas in my life. Yeah. And now, you know, there was something I used to struggle with a lot was just like being able to come up with new music, and I started telling myself like, you know what, like just go and record something, even if you don't like it. Kind of just learning how to discipline myself has allowed me to finish a lot of things. I've learned to just love myself enough to also just be more patient and more compassionate enough. And that just doing that with yourself, it changes how you are towards other people and towards with what you do in life itself. You know, I always tell people, if your physical well-being is not good, your mental well-being is not going to be good either. Like I'm a big believer. Like if you're not good physically, you're not going to be good mentally. And I've learned that from literally when I'm not feeling good or I'm like feeling like shitty about myself or just not having a good day, I go to the gym and I'm good again. That's good, I'm like, that's all I needed. But I think just doing that has definitely taught me just how to be more, you know, disciplined.
If you apply discipline into anything you do,
yeah, facts.
You could do anything.
And balance, you know.
Balance is another one.
I struggle with balance a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But I'm getting better.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Skrills and I are both trying to figure the balance thing out. It's
absolutely.
Crazy. Yeah.
With xB, like I never see her as like, I know she's one of the, to us, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of people now, she's one of the top Latina, you know, artists. But I've never saw her really as a Latina artist. I just
saw her as a dope artist.
As a dope ass artist.
That. Dope artist, straight up and down. Yeah.
And just the music, and that's why me and Mazi would be like, man, I'm kind of getting tired of these singles, my G. Like I need a whole, you know. So I'm glad to hear that, that's coming and that's on the way. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, and what's the name of it? And when is it dropping?
Ooh,
I beat you, Mazi.
I'm kind of low key upset.
Can we tell them what?
You can tell them whatever.
I mean, it's unofficially might be called Forever and a Day.
Exact release date?
Oh, I don't know. Smooth.
Yeah, May 26th is the target date.
Okay. Wow. I actually got an answer. 9 times out of 10, it's kind of like...
Nah, it's May 26th. That's the target date because, you know, right now what the goal is, we have a song coming out January 27th, and then after January 27th, which we are releasing through EQ Roc Nation, right?
Okay.
And then we have a song, then after that, the D-Spoke is probably going to be right after that, 2-3 weeks after. And then the Royce record probably 2 to 3 weeks. It's just going to be like consecutive pressure, I think, at that point. And at which point, like, you know, you got to look at it from the perspective of where I see it as. Yeah. You're going to drop 3 singles at the top of the year, you know, spread it out however you see fit, January, February, March. But those 3 singles should perform at a level where, what else can you do on a single level?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I expect the Smoke and the Royce record both to crack over 100,000 streams. Like, I'll be shocked if they don't. You know, really, that's kind of shooting low at this point. But I anticipate that they both do really well.
Yeah.
And, you know, what better way to set up a project, you know, than with having 2 strong singles. And in addition to that, having some strong shows to support that. Because, you know, she already has a few dates booked in March, the end of March. You know, Dallas, Columbus, Ohio. I think they want to bring it back. So it's like
Okay, going back to Ohio.
So you'll
I
start.
didn't
seeing,
know that.
So
This is news to me.
you'll start seeing some of that stuff coming together, and it's like, I mean, what else do you want? You know, I
Yeah.
mean, really, we could really drop in April, but I wanted to get enough space and enough time to be
Right.
able to
Yeah.
talk to the music venues, you know, and get all those venues on hold. Like I already got Austin and San Antonio and Fort Worth on hold for that whole weekend, that weekend of May 26th.
Yeah.
So San Antonio would be May 27th.
So wait a minute, you're telling me we get the official album release show?
It'd be the day after.
Come on, dog.
Oh yeah,
Oh, we in there.
yeah. And
We
where's
in
this, where's this gonna be at? Maybe.
Paper Tiger.
Oh, we in there.
Oh yeah, come on.
That's our backyard.
Easy.
That's our backyard, and then
Yeah.
we going to Peach right afterwards.
What? No, we taking y'all to Pete's right after.
Well, he don't drink, but I'm there.
No, you don't got to drink.
No, you ain't got to drink, 'cause I don't drink either. But we're
Oh,
going to
bet.
Pete's Hot Chicken because I mean, y'all,
Bet. I
y'all do
wasn't.
y'all do Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah, I
don't
do
know what the
anything
fuck
that's
that means,
spicy. He'll take chicken tenders or cheese sticks. That's all he
So,
eats.
but that's what they specialize in. It's
Hey.
tenders, but they're like T-Rex toes.
No,
as
those
I
are
call
our
them.
people, man.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are our
Those
people.
are our guys over there. Caesar, Kev, what up?
But we'll have, like, you know, we'll include some openers, you know, locally too. You know, I mean, look, at the end of the day, bro, we're realistic. Like, it's not like we're going into these cities like thinking we're gonna sell 1,000 tickets. So we want to just get in there, sell 150, 200 tickets in every city, and we'll be good.
For sure.
We'll be good. You know
For
what I'm saying? And you know, that's the target. You know.
Yeah,
For you, Smooth, being that you're gonna jump in the pod game with us.
I heard.
You know what I'm saying? I
We-
saw
we-
the
we-
pro.
We seen the promo.
We seen a dope promo.
We seen the promo.
I hit Mozzie on some. Oh,
Like, hey, yo, you,
big fish.
I was big
Big fish.
big fish coming to our pond, huh? I was like, because at first, you know, we kind of sitting like this in the jacuzzi, you know what I mean? Just,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then here comes Smooth.
Watch out, man.
Oh shit! All right, what's happening?
Y'all, you should have seen all the takes for that, bro. I did like a bunch of takes. And,
I
what?
shoot enough to know that it's exactly how that went down.
bro, you
Y'all
know-
shot a gang of shit, and y'all just like
Man,
pick.
Which one?
I wish you would have used this one because I was like, yo, like my fofo gonna make sure all y'all
Yeah.
What's up?
So I guess my question for you in that regards, man, is that like it just seems the podcast game in the past maybe year or two, it's just been oversaturated. I don't think it's hard to see
Yeah.
that everybody just picks up a mic and it's just kind of like, you know,
Just talking.
gets busy. And shout out to them, you know, whatever. If it makes you happy, it is what it is.
shots fired.
But-
Girls talking, baby.
Hey, man, whoever heard that, if it hits you, it hits you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Just straight bullets by the minute.
but my question to you though, man, is I guess what do you say you bring that's either new or innovative or just like your flavor of XYZ?
Well, you know, I think, you know, my journey into podcasting has always been, you know, it's always kind of been a formality, right? Like, I launched Premiere Live TV in 2016. And when I launched it, I was producing a show where I had a personality that was acting as the interviewer. And it just didn't work out. So then the beginning of 2019, you know, a lot of things changed. And then I had Maul at the Joe Budden podcast at the time, which is Maul and Rory.
Yeah.
He flew in and we did a podcast class back over there in Fort Worth. And, you know, me and him had a conversation at Papado's in Fort Worth. And, you know, he basically gave me the last words of encouragement that I needed to say, you need to be in podcasting. You need to jump into it. You know, too many people, you have too many relationships. I think you would do well in it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really good at storytelling. I understand the promoter aspect, all those years of watching pro wrestling, like really understanding how to craft a story and make the guests look good. So, you know, we got a solid production team, a great production team that I know that's going to handle my project with, you know, with like the care that it deserves and the attention that it deserves. And
For sure.
I think that's what it's going to, I think what people are going to see is the consistency. And I've always been reserved on sharing my opinion, you know, and I have a lot of opinions. And anybody that knows me, like, bro, I wish people saw my personality because everybody sees me with the shades. They think I'm a cholo.
He was about to say I'm funny. I was like,
No,
you the only one who thinks
No,
you
I'm
funny.
funny as hell, man.
With your dad
I'm
jokes.
funny as hell, dog. I am funny as hell. And what's funny about it is, like, nobody sees that. You know, so, like, I have to be able to bring that out and then also tell people stories in the way that nobody else has told their stories. And that's so important to me, man. It's so important. I've never really just overstated my opinion.
Yeah.
And I feel that's a disconnect because I have a lot to offer. And I feel that I'll be able to do that through the platform and the people that I bring on and the conversations that I'll have with that. Man, dude, I have a lot of things working in my favor that the average person does not have.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, man.
So if they want to find y'all on social media and everything and see what y'all got going on, where can they find y'all at?
All my handles are xBValentine, all together, no spaces, no underscores. Everything is the same: Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, all of that.
Real quick,
Yes, sir.
The Last of Us on HBO Max.
Yes. Oh my God, I was hoping you'd talk about that today.
Because I know we get the music conversation, all that stuff real deep. I was like, I gotta talk.
Oh my
to
God,
Are you excited?
I am so pumped. I am so pumped.
Yeah, we're filming this on the 10th, so that's happening this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's coming out this weekend?
This
Oh, I know what
Sunday.
I'm doing. I'm going to be at the airport on all day Friday. Literally all day. So
Be
I
sure to
need-
download the
Oh, hell
episodes
yeah.
before you jump on the plane. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I hope it's as good as the game,
Me
though.
too,
Me too.
because
the
the
game is
actors,
good.
About the actors out the gate, I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it just based off of what I'm hearing is, people who've already seen it and
Yeah.
screenings and shit, like they're like, yo, this is it.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard that. My little brother is real big into all that shit. So he was like,
Yeah.
man, the new show's coming out. I was like,
Facts.
oh, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So y'all
Yeah.
be sure to check out The Last of Us on HBO Max.
Yes, it's just going to go hard.
Share your logins, all that good stuff, because y'all don't want to miss this one. It's
Facts.
gonna be crazy
Thanks.
big fact.
for sure.
Smooth handles.
SmoothVega, one word. That's it. That's simple as that. SmoothVega, which is another reason why I went into the personal branding, because I don't want to manage multiple social media accounts. That's too much, right? I work way too much,
Yeah.
doing other people's shit. I don't want to fucking, you know what I'm saying? So SmoothVega.
Sure.
Bet.
Follow me.
We might catch you at the Royal Rumble, huh? In
Maybe.
the city.
You'll see. TBD.
And y'all know me at Maz's World Official everywhere, including Twitch as well. Skrills.
At SMOOTHV. Catch me on Smooth Vegas shit.
Yeah.
Because we about to get these clips rolling.
You know what I mean? And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and thank you each and every one of y'all for tuning in each and every week. Sponsor time, right?
Yes.
JVSentertainment.com. Be sure
Gang.
to visit the merch section and get you some Ozzy's World merch. Also, Crew Fresh Clothing. crewfreshclothingco.com. That's a tongue twister.
Yes.
Yeah. But y'all be sure to pull up on them and check out their merch there. Piece Hot Chicken. Be sure to order the Mozzie 2-piece hot or whatever heat level you choose, along with some hot honey and some fries on the side. And yeah,
That's it,
I
man.
think that's it.
Another one for
Yes,
the books.
go. Let's get
Another
it.
one, man. Appreciate y'all again for pulling up.
Appreciate
Thank y'all.
you.
Mozzie.
Get it.
Peace.
Peace.
Maserati.
So focused, I just need some meaning to my name. Plus, I'm cheating with these codes. If you thinking it's a game, that's real talk.